All right, here we go. It is my honor to have legendary actor Danny Trejo in the building.
What's up? Thank you. Thank you.
Oh man, such a long time fan. You know, I mean, from so many movies: Dust Till Dawn, Anaconda, Con Air,
Heat,
which is probably my favorite one out of the bunch. But then, like, you know, Anchorman, and of course Machete.
That was the one.
You know, which is the one that you
I
starred
would love
in.
Machete even if I wasn't in it. Yeah, it was just a great movie.
Oh yeah, man. But I think Heat is probably my all-time favorite.
Well, Heat was kind of the movie that really put me in the A-list movies. You know, because I got to work with De Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I'll be your Huckleberry. I love that. He should have won an Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
For Tombstone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why, Johnny Ringo? It looks like somebody just walked over your grave. Gosh, I know that. I watch it on the what do you call it? The computer, iPad. The iPad. Mm-hmm. Every time I take a trip on a plane, I watch that movie.
Well, listen, man, pleasure to have you.
Yeah,
and you know, this is our first time here, you know, together. So I want to go into your whole story.
Got it.
And you know, I'm a hip hop guy.
Yeah.
You know, and this is primarily a hip hop platform.
Yeah.
And in hip hop, you got something called studio gangsters.
Yeah.
You know, guys who portray a certain image
Yeah.
on their albums, but in real life, they're not really about that.
Yeah.
You are not a studio gangster. I went through your background, and it was pretty serious.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because one time me and Ice Cube, we were backstage at some concert, I forget what it was, and we're listening to this one kid, one little gangster rapper or something. And he's like yelling and screaming, man, you know, I'll blow this place, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at Cube, and he looked at me. I says, you know what, for $20, I go over and slap the shit out of that kid, man. You know, and Cube said something, just, you know, if you didn't get your credits before you got here, you're not gonna get them now. And it was so, you know, the minute you're a rapper, the minute you're a performer, you're no longer a damn gangster. You have just turned into a businessman,
right?
To a artist,
yes.
To a performer. And you what? The people that want to try to walk both ends, a lot of them end up dead.
Or in prison.
There's
a lot of those right now in hip hop. You know, there's actually both dead and in prison.
It's like funny. It's like I've pulled down so many people's pants that are saying, "Don't come sagging your pants around me, sucker." You know what I mean?
Well, you grew up in Echo Park.
Actually, I started out on Temple Street, moved to Echo Park, got in trouble, had to go to Texas, and then I was supposed to stay in Texas, I think 3 years. I lasted one summer. I love Texas, you know, for a little while, but any place I got to shoot mosquitoes with a 22, I don't want to, you know what I mean? So, but when I left Texas, my mom and dad had bought a house in Pacoima. So I grew up in Pacoima from the age of 13.
Well, I mean, before that happened, when you were still in L.A., you had an uncle.
My Uncle Gilbert.
Yeah, and he introduced you to a lot of heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Early on. I guess at 8 years old, he got you high on weed.
Weed, yeah, we
for the
started
first
with
time.
weed.
Which, well, at 8, that's kind of serious.
You know what? I gotta tell you this: that when I go speak at a Kiwanis club, all right, and I say that my uncle turned me on to grass, they think, oh my God, that's appalling. But when I go to a grammar school, and I talk about, you know, my uncle turned me on to, they all know, no, okay, so what? Because they've all already been, maybe not introduced to smoking, but they've already been introduced to what it is.
Yeah, being around it, yeah.
And so it's like, I honestly believe that we should start teaching kids about drugs and alcohol in grammar school. Wait a minute, this is not good, because the problem is when they see that guy walking down the street smoking weed, sagging his pants, that's it. Whoa, look at that! Wow, you know what I mean? And instead of saying loser, you know, teaching him loser, we're like hiding it.
Yeah. Well, smoking weed at 8 years old to me wasn't a huge deal, but then at 12 years old, he introduced you to heroin.
Okay, well, in his defense, I caught him shooting heroin, and I just I threatened to tell on him if he didn't give me some. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
because you have to understand that the way we grew up. You know, I don't know how much time we got, but I had
We got time.
my grandfather was a tyrant. He was a tyrant. Well, he had like 6 boys, and all the men in the family. We were the baddest family in the valley. Just like tough, you know what I mean? And he ran them. You know, he hey, you know, that was it. And I remember one time I was when I was just around about 12, and me and my uncle were standing there, and my grandfather was screaming at us, and I'm like, because I know he's going to hit me, and I'm almost ready to crap my pants. You know, I'm like squeezing so I won't, because I know he's going to hit me, and I happened to glance over my uncle, and my uncle is looking at death in the face, and he's like,
Nodding off.
he's nodding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm thinking, this is the baddest dude in the world, not this guy. He's looking at death and nodding. And I remember it's like my grandfather got so mad at my uncle going down like this that he walked into his room, slammed the door, and I'm like looking at Gilbert, and then Gilbert wakes up. Hey, did he hit us? You know, oh, I wanted to be just like that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I wanted to be just like that. And you know, wow, when I seen him like that, I said, give me some. You know.
Okay. So you started shooting heroin at 12.
Yeah, I shot heroin. I didn't
12.
start shooting.
Okay, you just
I
shot it
shot
once.
it, and I knew that this was, wow, you know, because you don't. People always say, how do you feel on, you don't. That's why you take whatever monsters you got going on, whatever inadequacies, whatever you just don't, you know, but I didn't know that. I mean, what did, you know, who cares what, you know, at 8, what do I say? Oh, wow, this is really going to help me with my inadequate. It didn't. I'm 12 years old. I just knew that that there's a euphoria going, you know what I mean? And it's probably the worst thing that ever happened to me, but it ended up being the best.
Did you continue to take heroin after that throughout
I
your life?
drank. I started drinking a lot because it's tough to run around and get heroin when you're 12, 13. But what my uncle used to do was send me up to the connection, and I'd bang on the door and say, "Hey, give me some dope." They'd, get the fuck out of here! They put you in the gas chamber. Then no, come on, I shoot. Come on, give me. And you get out of here, get out of here.
Wow.
You know, because so then my uncle started dealing, and I was his mule. You know what I mean? I would sit at Sun Valley Park. I would sit at one part of the park. He would sit in the other, and he'd collect money, and then he'd just give me a sign. Give him 2 balloons.